Hello everybody and welcome to the next Resco webinar. The topic today is Field Service 2.0 and we're gonna discuss a lot of things that happened last month and also Resco plans when it comes to supporting field service customers and partners who invested in building their field service practice. First things first though, thanks again for joining me today using the GoToWebinar platform. Please note that you're all in the listen only mode, which means you're automatically muted. If you'll have questions, comments, feedback, or ideas that you would like to share, please do so. I really encourage you to use the GoToWebinar questions section to post anything that catches your interest or you would like me and my colleagues to know. My name is Stano. I'm the COO and Chief Evangelist at Resco. A few facts about me so you know who I am. I've been with the company since more than 11 years. Currently, I'm based in Boston, Massachusetts area, where I manage our North American operations. And that title Evangelist comes there because I tend to speak quite frequently to lots of our prospects, existing customers, partners, etc., about different topics, everything pretty much mobile. So how customers, how partners can utilize mobile technologies, mobile applications, and mobile solutions to enhance the processes, the internal processes and field processes of the companies having substantial part of their workforce out in the field. If you haven't yet, I really encourage you to follow Resco on LinkedIn. It's very simple. If you just type linkedin.com/company/resco-net, you'll find our company webpage there. We share all the news there, lots of interesting stats, facts, new advancements of our technology, and it's a great way to also join the conversation right there. So for the purposes of today's webinar, I'm going to structure it in multiple different segments or groups. First, I'm going to talk a little bit about the announcement that Microsoft made last month and what it actually means short-term and long-term. Then we'll dive into the Field Service 2.0 topics. I'll try to explain what it is, how we're going to approach the field service market with Resco's technologies, what are the key pillars behind our Field Service 2.0 strategy, discuss all those things, and then give you some ideas how you can learn more, how you can start digging deeper into this technology and these new concepts. And then, of course, towards the end of the webinar, but it should take at least 20 minutes, I walk you through one comprehensive demo that I'll use to show you the key concepts, the key ideas, all within one coherent story of a field service technician's traveling from place to place and doing his or her job the best he or she can. So that's the plan for today. Before we get there, for all of you who are new here, this is a few facts about Resco here. We're a company that has been around since 1999. Believe it or not, it's been more than 20 years, 21 actually, this year. Since the very beginning, we're focusing on mobility and mobile technology. It all started with designing and developing very simple applications for devices such as Palm Pilots, Pocket PCs, devices that are not even around anymore. Our flagship product over the years is a technology that allows companies to create multi-experience applications for their internal users. This is currently being used by more than 2,500 customers all around the globe. So they come from more than 100 countries. And these customers account for roughly 200,000 users. Think of these as individuals, Joes and Janes, walking with their preferred device, whether that's a smartphone, tablet, maybe a wearable technology, wearable device, and access their corporate records or their records using these devices that run Resco applications on them. We have two main offices, one in Slovakia and one in Boston, Massachusetts. Our headquarters is in Slovakia, in the lovely city of Bratislava. If you get a chance, I know it's hard now, but if you get a chance, I encourage you to explore Slovakia, a lovely country. So I mentioned that we have quite substantial customer base. Before I move on, one important fact, Resco is a pretty horizontal technology. We're not really focusing on a specific industry with our technology, with our mobile platform. We're really working with companies from many different industries. Why? These companies, from our point of view, have very common features, common characteristics. They all have users, workers, employees who spend a lot of time out of the office, so out of the traditional working environment. They drive, they travel, they visit their customers, their partners, their suppliers. They go out and maintain, repair, and fix different kinds of machinery, assets, etc. So they spend all that time outside of the office and require a really robust technology to be that companion on their field trips. So that's about us. Let's now move on to the main topic, and that's field service and field service 2.0. So perhaps some of you know that little less than 2 years ago, Resco signed a quite important contract with Microsoft and formed an official partnership between Resco and Microsoft. What this partnership an agreement actually entails, Microsoft started to OEM Resco technology for their Microsoft Dynamics 365 field service product, especially the mobile part. So Microsoft approached Resco, took over Resco technology, and addressed the needs of their field service mobile workforce on 3 different levels. The first one is the mobile application, which is a wide labeled Microsoft Field Service mobile app, and it's available on most of the app stores. The second component is the Field Service mobile application customization or template. So that's the know-how, the Microsoft Field Service know-how, and all the functionality from Field Service that has been put into the application, and it's available for the mobile app to be consumed through that application. It comes with some limitations because it's only focusing on the field service scenario. And then the third component is the field service mobile configurator. So pretty much the tool behind the solution, that behind the application and the template, that allows for further configuration and customization of the solution. It can be anything from changing colors, logos, pictures, etc., to more complicated and complex stuff, such as adding custom entities, creating custom views, custom forms, etc., to even very complicated stuff like expand the application with custom code through Resco JavaScript Bridge. So that's what Microsoft is using, and what it actually means in Resco's world. The application is pretty much the Resco mobile CRM app that thousands and thousands and thousands of Resco customers use and companies rely on a daily basis. When it comes to the application customization or template, that's, in our words, the application project. And based on my statistics, an average Resco customer uses 2 to 3 different application projects, depending on the different use case, different user role, etc. So it's just, think of it as just a different application project targeting the field service functionality. And the last component, the mobile configurator, that's pretty much the Resco Woodford tool. Probably one of the most powerful no-code, low-code tool that allows you to create different kind of mobile experiences. So Microsoft and Resco signed that partnership about 2 years ago, and from pretty much the get-go, we knew that the partnership and the agreement has a certain expiration date. There was a huge gap that Microsoft has with mobility, and Resco was a perfect fit with the seamless integration. As a result of that expiration date, Microsoft is preparing to one day rely on their own technology, and just last month in May 2020 introduced a preview, so a first version of Microsoft's first-party application for Dynamics 365 field service. What's important to mention is this new application is fully based on Power Apps. So if you're familiar with Microsoft Power Apps as a platform, as a tool to build different types of applications, all the functionality, all the great stuff, but also all the limitations are going to be applied for the field service application as well. What does it mean from midterm point of view? Resco's backed or based field service mobile application is still the recommended approach. For all light use cases, Microsoft recommends or encourages the customers and partners to try their new mobile client based on Power Apps, but the field service mobile application based on Resco should be your first choice until mid next year. This is actually considering that Microsoft will reach a complete parity with Resco's solution by that time. One thing is sure though, our development efforts and our Resco machine is not sleeping. We're moving on and moving forward, and this relationship we had with Microsoft helped us tremendously to understand even better how companies approach mobility and what the users actually do out in the field. So based on that, plus the really rich experience with mobility and mobile technologies, we're launching a new program called Field Service 2.0, and it's our very serious approach to serious field processes. What it actually is, what it stands on three major pillars. The first one is technology that we believe has been proven by the market. Think of those more than 200,000 users. It's the concepts, so the ideas and the vision that we have for the future of field service and the whole innovation agenda that we have as part of our company in a form of an innovations team. And the third one is the commitment. So let me now dissect these three concepts in a little more detail so we know what I'm talking about. First, we'll start with the technology. When I talk to our customers and partners, many of them refer to Resco as a Lego. It's a kind of a puzzle that comes with a million of different pieces. Just for an information, last time one of my colleagues tried to count the number of Resco features. She ended at the number 800 something, and she still hasn't been finished fully with all the features. Lots of modules, lots of functional blocks, lots of pre-configured functionality that can be used. And it's truly up to our customers what the final version should look like. And also it depends on our partners how they put these little pieces together. The outcome then could look like something like this. A really nice story for different use cases, whether it's a heavy mobile user represented by that train at the very back of the picture, maybe some lighter user represented by the motorbikers and drivers in the front of the picture, or perhaps a very different story represented by that horse and carriage on the very left of the picture. The mobility can come in different ways, different shapes, different flavors. And Resco has all the muscle to support those different user scenarios and use cases with a great technology. Resco Field Service 2.0 is, however, based on a very strong foundation. When I talk about foundation, what it really means, it's a combination of the native applications that we have. We support everything from iOS through Android to Windows to smartwatches, etc., but I'll talk about it in just a moment. Configuration tool and those existing modules that can be put together any way you want. And that foundation is a technology that has been around for more than 12 years, used by companies that are globally operating firms, organizations such as UN, using Resco in the most challenging parts of the world, or companies of a small size or medium size that operate in certain region. So that's the foundation, and we think there's pretty much nothing better out there when it comes to mobility platform or multi-experience platform combined seamlessly with Microsoft Dynamics 365. On top of that is a layer of these new products or solutions that are fully integrated into Resco technology, and they come in two flavors. The first one is inspections, really a technology that allows for creating very dynamic forms to collect data very quickly. It can be as simple as just a very simple questionnaire with few questions on it, but it can be as complex as having 200 plus different questions with a lot of rules and JavaScript functionality behind the forms to allow for dynamic functionality and experience for the user, to allow for different branching, different processes that need to be accompanied by a digital questionnaire. That's all inspections. We have customers who have very simple questionnaires. We have customers who have 200 and more questions on single questionnaire, and it fully works in offline mode as well. The second flavor is the routes, and that's the functionality that makes perfect sense for almost any mobile scenario, and even more in the field service context. It comes in two ways. The one is more mobile user specific or centric. So it's our functionality that is available on the mobile client, on the mobile app, and gives the ability or gives the user the ability to plan and schedule the day in the most optimal way. Really enhance the user experience when these users are traveling and moving from one location to another, with the ability to provide navigation functionality as well. The second area, it also gives a lot of power and new insights, new tools for the back office. So for all the managers and supervisors who and scheduling managers who need to understand where users are, how they're progressing through their days, if they're stuck in traffic, or rather spend more time with the customers. If there's an emergency, it gives them also a quick understanding who's in that area based on powerful tools that I'll show you in just a moment. And the third area is the innovations. So I mentioned that a little bit, that we have our own innovations team within Resco. And they work with one primary goal only: to map, define, and try to understand what are the important new technologies that are going to disrupt our traditional way of how we do things, how we do our jobs, what we actually do in the field. Think of our support for wearable technologies, smartwatches, AR, VR headsets, support for AI image recognition, support for holographic scenes, tag images, support for all that new functionality and technologies that we're making available for our customers. So all of that is pretty much Field Service 2.0. I mentioned that we're a multi-experience tool. Here's a proof. This very simple graphics explains all the different types of touch points that we support. One single tool, one simple tool. Resco Woodford backs them all. You don't have to be a proficient smartwatches or wearable operating system developer, or focus on smart glasses or maybe native applications, etc. This is our job. We fully support you through one tool so that you can focus on the functionality and provide these different experiences on many different touch points. So that's the technology. Let's now move on to the second topic, and the second topic is concepts. So that's how we understand technology as an industry, technology as a world. The first concept that we really rely on is the device of choice. We as people are different. I know some of my colleagues are diehard Apple fans. Some of them are more of the Android fans. Some of them really love the Windows devices, different surfaces, laptops and tablets that come in different shapes and flavors, etc. And so are actually pretty much all the other people, right? And the companies as well. Some of the companies have bring your own device policy and allow their people to use their personal devices for work. Some of the companies, they provision their mobile devices, fully control them, and provide them to their employees. Some of them use one platform, some of them use a mix of platform. And then we have this new workforce that is coming into the market. Some of the users, for them, the primary device is a smartphone and a tablet. They only use laptop when they had to do some really input demanding work at school, but primarily they only use smartphones and tablets. So for them, it's nothing cool. It's a very standard device, perhaps even old school. And now they're using different types of wearable devices and smartwatches, etc. So what I'm trying to say, we at Resco are big believers of democratizing the access to the different devices. And we really want to provide the technology on as many devices as possible. We have customers running their full workforce on Windows devices. We even have customers leveraging the Amazon Kindle Fire devices. We have customers with a mixture of different devices as well. Our promise is simple. Whatever your device of choice is, we want to fully support you. The next concept is the continuous experience, a term that I actually borrowed from the company called Gartner. And what this actually means in real life, it's the marriage or the blend between the context and the use case. So it really depends what I'm doing, where am I doing it, and what kind of device I should use to make sure that I'm as efficient as possible. Some of the skilled workers, and experienced ones, they probably don't even need a device because they've been in the field for many decades. They know all the machinery. They know pretty much everything. But you have this new influx of workers for whom it's probably a new experience. And to accompany them with the right device might be a key for their success and such for the company's success as well. And on the other hand, it's also a way how we can capture or help the companies capture all that know-how that these skilled and experienced field service technicians mostly keep in their heads. But the question is how we actually gonna explore that and document it. So one way is to really look at the typical workday or workflow of a user and try to identify what the ideal device would be. As an example, here's a very simplified workflow or a typical day of a field service technician. In the morning, I'm doing some scheduling and planning, checking where I'm supposed to go today, making sure I'm following the most optimal route to get there. And that's probably something I do either on my phone or perhaps on my laptop. Then I get in the car. If my car supports Apple CarPlay or perhaps the Android Auto functionality, I can hook my phone with these systems and use them as a navigation. When I arrive at the location, some of the first things I have to do is check for hazards to make sure I'm going to operate in a safe environment, in a safe location. And what a perfect way to really use a smartwatch that is available on my wrist while both of my hands are free. And I can really move any objects, check behind machinery, etc., to make sure that I'm safe. Then I do the regular work. Maybe I collect some data, do an inspection, create a mobile report where I capture the signature, document everything that I have done using my camera, etc., and provide a mobile report to the actual customer. And then if there's some bigger problem, maybe a machine or machinery that I'm not really familiar with and I need to provide a complex repair, with the need of assistance, I can use some of the new devices such as smart glasses, AR, VR headsets, where Resco can run seamlessly as well, or some of our new functionality that allows to call the back office and actually get help remotely in real time. So that's the continuous experience. And the last concept is the mission control. So that comes in a form of a location monitor. As much as our businesses are mobile, not all the mobile value can only be consumed or is actually delivered out in the field. A lot of the mobility has a lot of sense and added value for the back office teams as well. And that's where our location monitor comes in place. This is a really tremendous tool that's adding a lot of value and a lot of benefits for the scheduling managers, supervisors, and managers of the field service teams. It combines or blends together the map view with powerful time shift rollers that allow you to go into the history and into the future to actually see where the technicians are, where they have been, how quickly they progress through their times. On the map, you can see all those check marks. So those would be the locations where the job has been done and finished, and they can move on to the next one. And the real bonus is our live view functionality that can provide the real-time position of these users on the map and progresses almost instantly based on how the field service technicians are moving through their days. So extra piece of functionality that gives the back office teams added value and more insights, making sure that they can work more efficiently. And the third pillar, is the commitment. Throughout the years, and I've been with Resco for almost 12, I can tell you that we've seen a lot. We've seen devices that are not even used anymore, devices that have had very limited hardware configuration and power compared to today's devices and computers that we walk with in our pockets. And we've seen those changes firsthand from the first row. We kept going, we kept supporting new technologies, new devices, new concepts, new ideas, and we think that we're super prepared for the next big thing that will come as part of the mobile technology world and technologies in general. And that's our commitment from Resco to you, our customers and partners, that whatever the future brings, we're going to be here ready for you to support these new devices, support your new use cases, the new challenges and issues you might face through technology. And the last commitment is the asterisk, that actually for Resco means there are no asterisks. We understand that the field service technicians, they focus on one thing and one thing only, and that's to do their job and do it the best they can. They shouldn't worry or be concerned about whether they synchronize the application, whether some parts of it will work or some parts won't. Something can only be available in online mode. Something will actually work to some extent in offline mode. Maybe this works and that doesn't. We don't like that approach. We don't think that's how mobility is done. Resco, and we have lots of great case studies that demonstrates this, can work in any conditions and make sure that the users are actually as efficient without the need to having second, third, or fourth thought about how to do their job. So now, time for a demo, and let me bring my mobile device on the scene and actually show you what I was talking about. So, sorry about that. Right now, I hope you can see the display of my iPhone right in the center of the screen. This is one way the application can look like. I would say that this one is a little bit more complex to provide a lot of field service related functionality. So a quick navigation, quick orientation. At the very top of the screen, the application can feature your own logo to make sure that we support some of your branding needs and requirements, and also make sure that the users can actually identify with the application in an easier way. And then underneath we have the home menu, the section I'm moving right now, which gives me access to all the entities, data objects, or parts of the CRM backend system that have been enabled for the mobile app. Today, I'm going to pretend that I'm a field service technician. I'm actually an elevator technician, and I'm going to visit a number of different locations. And at each location, I'm going to do what's necessary. So, as described at the workflow, I usually start the day by going into the calendar. So I tap there, and I can see that for today, I have 3 work orders scheduled right here. So I have to go to location number 47, it's a safety control, then 48 and 61. I can switch these at the bottom of the screen, and I can see them on a day view, week view, or even a month view, where I can see how busy my schedule looks like. Perfect. I have a good idea what to do and where to go, so I can go back now. And I'll go to the My Route. So after seeing what my today's schedule looked like, I'm actually ready to get in my van and hit the road. So I'll look up how these locations are actually arranged on the map. This is the routes functionality for the mobile application. The little blue dot in the left side of the screen that pulsates here and there, that's my actual location. And then you can see the little pins. The number 2 is hidden right up here, and the third one back here. And there's another, 5, 6 red ones that also represent some other records coming from Microsoft Dynamics or your own backend system. Those numbered 1, 2, 3, those are those appointments that I just showed you in the calendar. So the great advantage of Resco is that the calendar is actually linked with the route functionality. So probably if I'm all the way up here in Everett and I go to this second location, I can tap on that little red pin, and while I'm there, it's just across the street, so I can try to stop by at this location and add it as a 4th stop. So then my tour plan will look like this. I have the start location, and then the 4 stops and the end location as well. You can probably see on the map that the blue line is pretty complicated, and I'm pretty much going north and south in a number of swings. So what I can do, I can tap at the bottom of the screen, scroll all the way down. It gives me the information that the total distance is 26 and almost a half mile, and the driving time is expected to be 1 hour and 24 minutes. If I choose to optimize route, our optimization functionality will try to reschedule these appointments with a simple goal to minimize the travel time. And here I get the message that we were able to save up to 30 minutes. And when you look at the total distance and driving time now, it's really just a fraction of what I had to cover before. So probably a really great productivity booster. And as you can see, the blue line looks much more less complicated, pretty simple and easy right now. When I'm ready to drive, all I have to do is tap the little map button in the right upper corner. So I'll do that. And this tour plan with all the stops is now pushed into Google Maps. And when I zoom out, you'll see that it shows how I can get from my current location, the blue dot, to all those stops on the map, and use it actually when I'm driving as a step-by-step navigation. When I'm done, I hit save, and let's assume that I actually arrived at the first location. As you can see, the calendar is now updated as well, and it shows that extra stop. And I opened the very first one, the safety control. So I arrived there, I open it up. The very top of the screen shows this progress bar. This is a new functionality that we're introducing as part of Resco's summer update. that is being released in June, actually, if I'm not mistaken, this week. And it gives you control over creating these custom stages with custom buttons that can be put anywhere in the mobile application to make sure that I, as a user, know what stage I am and what I'm working on. So I open my work order schedule, and I see there's a lot of additional details here that I can open up and expand by a single tap. So if I want to find out more or learn more about what needs to be done, what skills I need, etc., everything is available at a single tap. One particular area I'm going to point your interest at or focus at is the inspections section right in the middle of the screen. When I get to the first location, I need to first check for hazards. To do so, rather than holding my phone in the hand, I'll use my smartwatch. And actually how I'm able to do it is, it's very simple. I just tap on the little plus button and I choose the HazScan questionnaire. You can see that I have 4 different types of questionnaires prepared here. We also have one for COVID-19. It's a self-checking questionnaire that allows the employees to self-check themselves before they actually start their shift. But right now, I'll go to the HazScan one. So that you can see what I'm doing, what I'll do, I switch from my iPhone to my iPad and show you the experience on the actual smartwatch. So on the smartwatch, what I'll do, I'll have to do it quickly because otherwise the watch will lock itself. So I'll unlock the watch, I'll go to the Resco application and open the questionnaire there and walk you through all the steps on the watch. So let's get right into it. Let's first unlock the watch. Here's the password. I go to the menu, look up the mobile CRM application from Resco. It's right here. And the first message I get is to open the questionnaire. So I open the questionnaire on my phone. Now I can put my phone to my pocket and I'll just go through this HazScan questionnaire right on my watch. So first question, were there any hazards? Let's say yes. Was there a risk of slip? No, absolutely not. Any strain risk? Yes. Any moving objects? Yes. And I check those with my free hands. Any contact with harmful energy sources? No, I haven't found any of those. Any objects or harmful substances? Yes. And have I completed the HazScan? Yes, absolutely, I'm done. The last message I get is I can continue my work on my handheld device. So I'll do that. Very easy, few simple steps. What's even cooler, on Android devices, we also support voice control and voice navigation. So you can go through this whole questionnaire, run from your watch, just using your voice commands. On the phone, this is the result. This is here are all the answers captured through the smartwatch. So all I have to do now is just hit the save button in the right upper corner and I can go back. That was pretty simple. So I'm in a safe environment. I can actually do my job. And what I'll do is I'll choose the very last template here, the regular inspection. So I open it up and here I'm going to inspect an elevator. As you can see here, the elevator inspection is divided into multiple different sections or groups, and I'll just go through them pretty quickly. To actually start the inspection, I have to identify the elevator, and I can do that by typing in the serial number, the manufacturer, model, maybe information about last service, etc. I could do it manually, but I can also do it based on the barcode. All I have to do is just tap on this little barcode button in line of the serial number field and scan a barcode. So let's do that. I have a barcode here that I have prepared on my desk, and that serial number, manufacturer, model, and last service got automatically populated. So that you believe me that the serial number is actually editable, I can put there anything just by hands as well. So just like that, I can move on to the next section, and that's cabin interior. I got some instructions what to focus on, what to really check as part of this group. And then very quickly underneath, I can check all those elements of the cabin. So first I check the lights, I check the control panel, cabin walls, LCD display. You can see that we support some color coding, and if needed, I can add some additional comments as well. Next, I focus on the cabin exterior. I check the brakes, first the left brake, then the right brake. Oops, maybe there's something wrong with the right brake, so I mark it as damaged. A right brake, as you would probably assume, is a pretty important part of an elevator, so I actually have to fix it right here. Because this is not my typical location, I'm not really sure what kind of piece of or spare part is actually needed to replace the old right brake. So what we can bring is the AI functionality seamlessly built into Resco technology. So what I can do, instead of adding the spare part manually, I can take a picture of the existing spare part, and the AI image recognition allows me or helps me to identify the spare part. So let's do it. I'll tap on the little camera there, choose the option capture picture. I choose the spare part AI image recognition configuration, and I'll take a picture of this spare part. I'll let you guess whether you think it's a wheel or it's something else. Let's hit use photo. That will submit the picture. And I got the answer right underneath. It's a brake pad. If I tap on that, I can see I have exactly one type of brake pad on my van at the type 24WM. So I'll select that one and replace the spare part. And that would be that's going to be captured on my inspection automatically. I can move on now. I'll check the wire ropes, the securing bracket. Everything looks actually pretty good. One more thing, if there are any big issues that require me to capture them, I can use my camera. There are two ways to do it. I can capture a picture, or I can actually provide a 3D scene. So I can attach 3D anchors and create a holographic scene, which I'm hoping to show you at one of the next webinars. But right now, I'll show you the capture picture functionality. What I'll do, I take a picture of this elevator shaft that definitely needs some love and care. I hit use photo. And then before saving this picture, I have this additional design or image editor here that includes a little plus button in the right bottom corner. When I tap on the little plus button with my finger, these new two little tags appear on the screen. And again, using my finger, I just grab that and I can place it on top of the picture. So right here is a control panel. So I put that little red tag right over that one. And when I tap on the little red tag, I can actually define what this cabin issue is all about. So first I define the regarding. This is regarding the control panel. And it's a high priority because it doesn't really seem to be working. And let's add one more cabin issue and place it right here over these ropes. I tap on the red tag, set it to wire ropes, and those seem to be fine, but I think they've seen a better day, so it's a low priority. And when I'm done, I hit the save button in the right upper corner, and the cabin issue picture will be part of the questionnaire as well in probably just a second. Yep, there we go. So, few last things. I'll check the engine room, central unit, electric wiring, the floors. Theoretically, I would have to go through each and every floor of the building. That's why some of the steps can be duplicated or even copied as many times as I need. Hence the little plus button within the floor section. And I just add some final notes. And at the very bottom of the screen, I can capture the signature from the customer or approve myself that I've done the inspection to best of my knowledge. And that signature is now attached right there. When I'm done, I can scroll it up and down. Everything looks good. So I tap on the little save button, and all I have to do now is complete the inspection. To complete it, I tap on the little three dots in the right upper corner. And the fancy version is to complete the inspection with a report. What this actually means, we can build a local report on a mobile device. We support different formats. One of them is a PDF, and that's being built right now. This functionality doesn't require any internet connectivity, and as you can see, here are all the results, all the questions as captured as part of the inspection, including the signature at the very bottom of the screen. What's really cool, this report can be copied, printed, emailed, or just saved. So right at the spot when I'm having internet connectivity, maybe when I'm at the office or reception area, lobby area, I can just email this report to the customer right there before I leave the location. So just like that, I was able to go through the inspection using my smartwatch, using my phone, capture signatures, capture pictures, add some additional information on top of those. I was able to use the same device to get there and use the navigation to actually plan my day a little better, save up to 30 minutes of my time just by reordering all these appointments. And most of this worked in completely disconnected mode and on multiple different devices. So that pretty much sums up my demo. And I have just a few closing remarks. And what I promised you in the beginning is to give you some more ideas about resources and additional information that you can use if you really want to dig deeper. We have Field Service 2.0 course in Resco Academy. So all things I was describing, plus the functionality around inspections, functionality around reports, are nicely arranged in a one cohesive course called Field Service 2.0, and it's available at the Resco Academy, so academy.resco.net, where you can create an account very quickly and explore this course on your own. I also encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel. There's a lot of great content, a lot of great videos. Some of them are short ones, just showing some tips and tricks, quick functionality, exploring some of the new functionality, but also gives you access to deeper topics and access to webinars as well. And last but not least, and of course, situation permitting, the great way to explore everything about Resco is to attend one of our events. Resco Next is our annual global event this year, scheduled for November. So we're still hoping that we'll be able to host that one, and some of the training sessions. We did a training session, a 3-day training, a fully virtual one in April and beginning of May. And we plan to do one more in the second half of the year because it was a tremendous success. We have more than 200 people who attended that 3-day training event. I see some people raise their hands, so if you have question, please use the question tab on the GoToWebinar in the GoToWebinar application. Okay, there's a first question. The question is, can I use Resco Field Service 2.0 with my Microsoft Dynamics 365 organization, I guess, or environment? So the answer is yes. If you're familiar with how Resco works with Microsoft Dynamics as a backend, same applies for Field Service 2.0. It's a seamless integration for the users. It's a pain-free process. All they need is just to download the mobile application on their device of choice from the app stores and sync using their Dynamics credentials. So if they just provide the URL, username, and password, they be able to connect to Dynamics. And same applies for the back office. So for the administrators, it's very easy. All they have to do is just import the Resco solution file that comes with all the tools, all the functionality, all the modules and blocks that I was describing, including the Woodford tool, the inspection functionality, the routes functionality, etc. So that you can create those specific, unique mobile experiences for the users. And thank you for the question. That was a good one. I apologize if I didn't explain that properly using my slides. Okay, I'm not seeing any other questions, so thanks again for attending the webinar. We will continue with these, and we'll try to go deeper and answer some of the more technical questions, highlight how Field Service 2.0 experiences can be put together, combining the Resco Foundation with inspections and routes, etc. So please stay tuned. And as my colleague Paul says, stay positive, test negative. So I hope you're all safe and doing well. Thank you again for joining me today, and enjoy the rest of your day.